Alright guys, finally get to the shooting part. Here we have the Iver Johnson 38 Smith & Wesson. Lovely gun. We're going to test it out today. This one is an ATF Antique. I am shooting a few different loads to test out. First one's going to be my homemade black powder. This is corned and pucked at a pretty high pressure. I was using a small die, a steel like 1 1/4 inch die to get good compression. And I was using Cottenelle toilet paper. Then we're going to use Pyrodex RS, then 777 2FG, then 777 3FG. I've been using a 0.7 cc dipper. I just eyeballed it. There's very little compression, if any, and I'm using a reproduction NOE mold to produce a very similar bullet. So the shank of the bullet does not go very deep into the case, leaving me more space for powder. So we're going to do this over the chronograph. We're going to find out what kind of power and energy we're going to get with these rounds. I want to say it's about 150 grain bullet, more or less. But we're going to find out just how much energy we get out. And I'm going to shoot it from what I estimate to be the least power to the most power. And we'll see just how deadly these bullets can be. So let's get started. Alright, first 5 rounds. See what happens. Well, that was fun. Let's see what we got here. First shot, I flinched pretty bad. Look at the accuracy. I got 5 more of those. But first one, I flinched, put it over here, and then I was aiming here, so I was a little bit high. It was pretty pathetic, the speeds here. Maybe I need to get a little more compression. Let's see, from the beginning. High of 303 and a low of 273. I don't think you need to see them all, but I'm going to try that again, and then I'll film when we get to the next power level. I think we'll get some decent power once we get a little higher up the scale. Okay, one thing about these, they're very easy to clean in the field, and there's a bushing here that keeps the fouling from hitting the arbor, a problem you'll have on early percussion guns. But we're going to clean this thing up, and I did take 5 more shots, and my average was 286 feet per second, so pretty lame, but we can only go up from here. So let's see what else we can do. Alright, next 5 shots are Pyrodex RS, and I did swab the barrel with water before switching powders. Let's see what we get over here. Nice and smoky. Now, keep in mind, this powder is meant for rifles and shotguns. The point of impact was quite a bit higher. I was aiming here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, maybe 1 went down, I don't know. But it was grouping up here. There's probably 5 shots right up here. And I was aiming right there. The power level. So last was 460. Let's go high 460, low 413, average 432. So already in the territory of I don't want to get shot with that. So I'm going to do 5 more get my final chronograph readings, and then we'll up the power again. Okay, average for the Pyrodex RS is 429. Here's the one patch. I just bring a squirt bottle full of water. I just squirt it down the barrel, run a patch through. The action is still very smooth, nothing's gumming up, and the trigger is actually excellent. I'd say it's better than a modern J-frame. This one does have the old style spring steel mainspring. It doesn't have a coiled spring like the later ones do. So let's step up the power. You guys will be able to see the flame better than me, but this next one's going to be the 777 2FG. So I think we'll up the power a little more. Let's see what happens. Alright guys, doing the 777. Now if what I'm showing you on the chronograph doesn't match what I'm writing down, it's because I'm showing you the chronograph after 5 shots, and I actually have 10 shots of each. So I add 5 more just to get a little better average. But if there's a discrepancy, that's what you're seeing. Alright, 5 shots, 777. Let's see. I assume this is going to go higher and higher as we go. Oops, no more snappy. All right, so I was aiming here, and I hit right here. So not terrible group. I still have a 130-year-old fouling in the barrel that I just can't get out. It's like glass. So I'm trying to shoot it out right now, but I'm gonna hit it with some harsh chemicals in a bit. So high is 556, low is 467. So we're already getting into the 500s with this. Average is 509. So 509 with a 150 grain bullet is nothing to sneeze at. Of course, I won't write that down yet, but that is that's decent amount of power. Especially since we're not asking the bullet to turn itself inside out. All we're asking the bullet to do is go through a human and out the other end, preferably through the heart, lungs, or central nervous system. So let's see, put 5 more down, see what our real average is. Alright, total was 489 average after 10 shots of the 2FG 777. Now we're going to go to the re-FG and see if we can average in the mid 500s. Would be great. That would be perfectly adequate for self-defense out of a revolver like this. I'm never going to shoot smokeless out of it. I believe it doesn't only matter how much pressure, but how quick that pressure gets to the peak, and smokeless just gets to that peak so fast that it accelerates really quickly. I'm going to stick with the smokeless, but there are hot substitutes, and this is one of the hottest ones that I'm aware of. So let's see what kind of performance we can get. Alright, it's so sunny and hot and glary that I don't even know if you're getting any of this, so I apologize if the camera shots are bad. I just set up and shoot. One of those YouTubers that make money off what we're doing. I'm just sharing the information. So let's put it up a little higher. Here we go. There we go. Got a jam, my friends. maybe I should have given it a firmer crimp. If you can see, the bullet has jump crimp here with these massively powerful rounds, so that is not going to shoot, and there's definitely some powder in there. So let's see if I can shoot these one at a time and get through a cylinder. Alright, we got through that. The problem was 100% my loading and not the revolver, but it gives you a good opportunity to look at the bullet. You can see these original design, there's not much that goes in the case. There was a design that was out of stock that had a crimp groove, which I probably should have purchased, but I just went with this one. So I just need to crimp it a lot harder. I was giving it a very light crimp, thinking I wouldn't really need it with these low power rounds, but I was wrong. So next batch that won't happen. Again, no fault of the revolver, but we made it through 10 rounds of the 777. This last one is 551. Let's see here. You want to see the high and low, don't you? High 572, low 493, average 535. So that's what I was hoping to get. So definitely good enough for what its purpose is. It's still smooth. Everything's running right. Trigger's nice. Again, it's unregistered. State of Michigan requires handgun registration, but not for ATF antiques. So it's a neat little gun. It has enough power to do what it needs to do. And like I said, I'm not going to hot load any smokeless rounds, but for what it is, I think it's a handy, nice little gun.